What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP. This is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And welcome back to another episode of the Filmbros podcast. How to start off this episode? It's very hard to segue this one into like a clean start, Josh. So I guess I'm just going to have to tell you straight out. It looks like Pete Davidson is not just taking on the Decepticons this week, because it sounds like Pete is out here fighting against PETA over some dog allegations. So I guess over the weekend, Pete Davidson's mother's dog had passed away. Mm-hmm. And I guess over the weekend, they said, hey, his mom was devastated, so he went out to go get another dog.
Yeah.
And so a video was taken of Pete Davidson and his current girlfriend. You know, he goes through girlfriends like crazy. How does he do it? I don't know. He got the magic stick.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say. He gets a snap. And so it goes up to PETA's VP or whoever. And they basically issue a statement saying it's shameful for Pete Davidson to have bought a dog instead of adopting. And it causes Pete Davidson to leave a very angry voicemail to the VP of PETA. And I'll just let you hear what he had to say to PETA.
Today at 2:41 p.m.
Hi, my name's Pete Davidson. This message is for Daphna. Thank you so much for making comments publicly that I didn't adopt a dog. I just want to let you know I'm severely allergic to dogs, so I have to get a specific breed. I'm only not allergic to Cavapoos and those type of dogs. And my mom's dog, who was 2 years old, died a week prior, and we're all so sad, so I had to get a specific dog. So why don't you do your research before you create news stories for people, because you're a boring, tired you and
goddamn.
End of message.
So if you guys didn't
get
it through the bleeps, he basically said at the end there, and this is where it kind of gets really hot. He says, my mom's fucking dog, who is 2 years old, died a week before, so we're all so sad, and I had to get a specific dog. The dog was actually his mother, so why don't you do your research before you fucking create news stories for people, because you're fucking boring. And then at the very end of all that, he goes on and tells him to suck his dick. So, and, you know, that prompted a very promptful response from Daphna, the VP of Animal Cruelty Investigations, basically saying that it's still no excuse. She says that he's uneducated, and that if he's allergic to dogs, that he could have found another hypoallergenic dog in one of the adoption stores. They also addressed his anger, saying that it was uncalled for, that their hearts go out to Davidson and his family for the loss of their dog. And that still doesn't make an excuse for him buying a dog and propping the puppy mill industry when millions of dogs awaiting loving homes and shelters. And we hope that he'll do the right thing and adopt next time. And that's basically the end of that.
Why?
So we have...
What a random ass encounter.
What a random ass fucking fight. So here's my thing. This is not the first time that PETA just kind of pokes their nose. I know that they came at God of War recently, Ragnarok, for them killing a dog in the game. I know that they come at different people's necks for just random shit, fake dogs being killed, whatever, and blah blah blah. And I get it; they're passionate. You know, at the end of everything, they could have just been like, you know what, Pete, you suck my dick and just fucking adopt the dog. You know what I mean? Like, they could have just done that shit. It just seemed like some weird beef. And, you know, as weird as Pete Davidson is, this is something that honestly, I couldn't even see him passing up. You know what I mean? If most people would have just brushed off PETA and just been like, okay, who cares? I'm not worried about what the fuck they have to say or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But here's Pete Davidson calling the VP of investigations to go ahead and give him a piece of his mind. I don't know, man. What do you think, bro?
That doesn't even... It's such a random ass thing to... I would have not have guessed this being a whole fucking thing. I mean, yeah. I think PETA sticking their nose in everyone's business is kind of weird. I understand. Yeah, I understand they can be passionate, but it's still very weird to be like, hey, you should adopt next time. And then Pete Davidson... I think I understand Pete Davidson's anger a little bit because as much as like he's famous and is in the public eye, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't anyone's place to be like, hey, you should get a dog from here when he's just trying to get one for his mom. You know what I mean?
I mean,
that shit's crazy. He told him to suck his dick.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But my thing is like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is he still not technically adopting a dog? He's just paying a certain store for the dog. So in a way, and technically speaking, he's still adopting a dog. Just
is that different? It's probably different.
Adopting and buying a dog, because I mean, when you go and adopt a dog from a shelter, you still pay. You still pay for fees and chipping and all this whatever. I have a dog from the shelter, and I still had to pay.
Did he
some
buy
kind
it
of money.
from? Did they say he bought it from like a store, or did he buy it from someone like?
He bought it from a store. They caught him in a store, and they took a picture of him, and that picture is actually right here. If you want to see the goofed look on his face when he got caught, look.
He's like, damn.
This is a picture that got PETA on his neck. Is right here. Is them two buying a dog. Look how happy he is, and like his girl is just like, man, I'm just here. How did I get stuck with this guy? Where does he get his girlfriends, bro? Like, I don't understand. Like Kim Kardashian, again, all these people is like, how'd you take him from Kanye West? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, apparently he knows how to pick his bitches.
That's such a weird fucking encounter. Like, why? Again, PETA just needs to shut the fuck up. I saw this post they put up where it was like, you wouldn't eat a T-Rex, so don't eat a chicken. And I was so confused. I was like, those are two different things.
I'll tell you right now, PETA, if T-Rex were on this earth and they were probably on the menu, I'd probably eat them.
That's why I'd kill to figure out what they tasted like too. I think that's just natural human curiosity. You're not gonna stop me from.
If you give me a time machine, I'd go back in time and kill a motherfucker myself and just eat them.
Yeah.
I'll cook them over the lava, like the volcano that kills them.
They post a lot of dumb stuff on their fucking Twitter. It's funny.
Well, they're trying to make it known that don't kill dogs, don't hurt your dogs. They should be inside. Where it baffles me is where they decide to be like, hold up there, buddy, don't fucking spend your money there. Come adopt over here. It's like, bruh, it don't matter if he wants to go get a dog. And I don't know. Maybe that just, to me, when people are like, oh, I'm allergic and I need a specific dog or whatever, it's like, don't even have a dog. Don't even have a dog. If you're fucking allergic and there's only one that can be good with you, just buy a fucking fish. Get a turtle. That's just me.
Yeah. More or less, yeah. Because, I mean, again, if you really cared about your allergies that much, you wouldn't be getting one in the first place.
Yeah, if I was allergic to dogs, I'd be like, no dogs at my house. No dogs. I'd find a different pet. I'll get a fucking tortoise.
That'd be a weird-ass pet. That's a weird-ass decision.
What, a tortoise?
Yeah, like out of all the... That's weird.
We got motherfuckers with shark tanks. Michael Jackson had a monkey.
When you got Michael
You're
Jackson
going to judge
money,
me for getting a tortoise?
When you got Michael Jackson money, you can own those things.
I don't know if it's true, but we seen Mike Tyson had a fucking tiger.
He owned a tiger.
I believe he probably owned a real tiger.
No fucking
I
way.
didn't see PETA come at their neck for that. Owning a tiger.
They go back to rewatch The Hangover and they're just like, you guys shouldn't be feeding roofies to these animals.
Their teeth grind every single time they see the tiger in the car.
They're like, damn, how'd they get that motherfucker in there?
They ball up their fists. They're just like, one of these days.
One of these days.
Oh man, but moving on though, AP Davidson, good job on your dog. Hopefully they don't do a puppy drive-by or some shit on your house. They're just going to have the dog shit on his lawn. Just, I don't know. Moving on, though. We have a Disney producer, Sean Bailey, basically addressing whether or not we're going to be seeing another Pirates of the Caribbean movie with Johnny Depp. And his response basically says it all. He says it all. And he basically said that nothing has been officially greenlit. He says that we think we have a really good, exciting story that honors the films that have come before, but also has something new to say. And then when asked if Johnny Depp was on board and will be returning as Captain Jack Sparrow in this new endeavor, he goes on and just says non-committable at this point. So he can't say nothing. And that's just the nice way of saying fuck no. Now, the last time we heard about Johnny Depp being a part of this, he was in his defamation trial where he said that he felt betrayed by Disney because they just dropped him like a hot ticket when, he put a lot of his own, writing and everything into this role that he says. Even went as far as to say if they rolled up with $3 million and like a bunch of alpacas that he would still say no. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is a definite no more Johnny Depp in the Pirates franchise, or is this like they just need 301 million and maybe like a couple more alpacas? And he'll say
nah, I don't. Well, I don't know. I feel like every time we talk about this, like it changes my mind because he did say he doesn't want to come back, but he's acting a lot of smaller stuff right now. He's probably not ready to be part of something big like that. You know what I mean? Especially after they were the first ones to drop him. And then, WB dropped them, those bastards.
Yeah.
Like, it's a real sensitive thing. So, I mean, it would be nice to have him back. And maybe if money talks, he'll accept. But till then, I'm sure that he's saying no.
So are you, like, on his side?
Yeah.
Are you on his side, but do you want to see him come back?
Well, yeah. Of course I'd want to see him come back. He was what kept me interested past the third one. I think the third film kind of wrapped it all up. And then... yeah, fourth and fifth one were kind of
You didn't fuck with those?
Not really. Not as much.
Is it because William Turner wasn't there no more?
Well, yeah. I would,
we technically saw him in the fifth part at the very end. Technically. Yeah. Yeah, it's a sad day. Because I would much rather prefer him come back. And, I know that we were hearing that a Margot Robbie led one was supposed to happen. Yeah. That one has been officially scrapped. If there is a God, thank you.
Now it's just a reboot or whatever.
Yeah, if they, you know what, and maybe that's why we haven't got anything greenlit right now, because maybe they're still trying to see, hey Johnny, come back over here. You want to make some more movies, and Johnny's just like, no sir, I'm Johnny Depp, and I'm not wanting to do this right now.
Was that your impression?
Yeah, that was Johnny Depp. Was that good? Did I do good?
Oh, you had me in the first half, and then it started dwindling. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, I thought I was on point.
That's not Johnny Depp at all. No, but well,
if you close your eyes, it might be.
No, but yeah, no, I don't know. Because at the same time, think about it. Like, where else could they go after the fifth one?
What was the fifth one?
I can't remember it too well either. But like for the whole, because they're
the
going
one with
through
Salazar.
I think so.
Blackbeard?
No, that's the fourth one. With the Fountain of Youth or whatever.
The fifth one, then the fifth one, the fourth one's the one with the Fountain of Youth. So then the fifth one had to be the one.
Dead Man Tell No Tales? Is that the one with his dad? Will Turner's dad? Something like that? I
Man,
can't remember.
Dead Man Tells No Tales, that's the second one.
Really?
Yeah, Dead Man Tell No Tales.
I really don't want to have to look this up.
Yeah,
but
no, we're good.
I forget the fourth one or fifth one. But, I mean, throughout the movies, they were showing that they were basically, like, becoming, like, finite. So
they're coming what?
Like they were like pirates were coming to an end. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know where they'd go after that.
How do they blend in with a dying world? What if like one of like what are they called? The troop people. What if they're like execute order 66 and kills all the pirates or whatever, and then like Jack Sparrow's like the last pirate.
They've been killing pirates since the first one.
He's the last pirate now. Damn. I feel like if I tried to pitch this, they would have done the same thing and just would have been looking at me like, get out.
You don't think we've tried that? Johnny ain't having it. But
well, hopefully he does come back. I mean, it would be nice to see him. Yeah, it'd be nice to see him back. And you know what? I think every single time we do talk about this, it is kind of different every time, because there's a part of me that wants him back and just be like, look, man, put it to the side, bro. Get your money. They pay you 400 mil for a movie or whatever. You get your bag, fucking sell out. Who cares? And then just go home. And you know, that's a part of me. And then the other part of me is like, nah, bro, hold your ground. Fuck these dudes. Fuck Disney.
Basically,
Even though you know they are the money makers, and you know, I don't know. I'm torn about it. I don't know if I do want to see him back. And then to be honest, I don't know if I do see him back. Well, like I have this mixed reaction. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
After everything that's happened,
yeah, after everything that's happened, like, can I see him back and just like ignore everything? You know what I mean? And if you can't, will that ruin the movie and or the experience? You know?
maybe. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's a lot more of like, I think it would also be a disappointing thing. You know what I mean? Because obviously he shouldn't come back. They treated him very poorly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But if he does come back, you'd be like, yeah. But at the same time, you'd also be like, fuck, he couldn't stick by what he was saying.
Yeah, I think that's that torn apart feeling. Is like you want him back, but if he does, and you kind of look at him like he fucking folded. So
Yeah,
it's
what
like,
the fuck, bro.
he folded like an omelet.
Mhm.
Like, what the fuck? Like, what do we do? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I think if he were to come back, it would be better at Disney. I think if I see him in a WB project, that would be like, what the fuck.
yeah. I mean, either which way, honestly, to be honest, they all fucked him up. That's the thing, is that, is it too much to be like, or is it, is it bad if we just give him a pass? Because literally when all this happened, it literally was, let's keep it a buck, it literally was at the height of the Me Too movement. And everybody kicked his ass. Fucking Disney kicked his ass. Warner Brothers kicked his ass. Fucking every other little brand that he had, except for the cologne company. Dior, they stuck by his side, which is very good.
Yeah.
But mostly everything else, they basically kicked his ass. So would it be a bad thing? If it was just one company and he goes back to that one company, if it was just Disney and he went back there, it'd be like kind of weird. But like if it's all the companies and he just goes back to get his bag and walk out, can we not respect it for him just being like, fuck all you motherfuckers, I'm just here for my money? Can we respect that, or is that...
Well, maybe. It depends, because it depends on the role and what he's doing. Because we know if he comes back as Jack, it's going to be a different thing. If it's a fresh role, maybe. Maybe that's why he's not coming back to them, though. And that's why he's doing all the fucking, the smaller indie movies right now. Because he's just like, I can get paid a good chunk for my roles and then not have to worry about the fucking hassle because it's not a big movie done by a big production studio or whatever.
Yeah. I was assuming he was doing them just to basically get his foot back in the door. I thought, I don't know if if that was kind of like a project where somebody's just like taking a chance on him because of everything that was happening or whatever. I don't know. Because I don't even know what the timeline looks on that movie. It doesn't look VFX heavy, so it could have just been recorded and filmed after the trial and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I just, the situation is just a weird one. Like I said, I feel like we're still torn. I don't know about y'all out there, whether or not you guys are torn or not, but, that's something that I would want to know from you guys is like, hey, would you guys respect this man for coming back and making a buck off, Pirates of the Caribbean? Mm-hmm. Or you guys are going to look at him funny like, man, you folded like a lawn chair.
A little weird. Depends on what side of the spectrum you're on, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to pick a side. We're going to have to pick eventually. But I'm good with staying on the fence until we actually hear news that he's actually involved. You know what I mean? But I have to wait and see. One thing that we did get confirmation of today is that apparently we're getting a new title for Captain America 4. It's no longer New World Order, but it is called Captain America 4 Brave New World. What does that tell you?
Why? New World Order sounded kind of sick. Like, am I tripping? That sounded badass. Like if it involved Hydra or something.
New World Order sounded badass. Brave New World sounded very Disney. That just sounds so Disney to me. I was just like, might as well at this point.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. That one sounds very like kid friendly and stuff. Brave New World. What the fuck? I guess it would make sense because if the synopsis is like them exploring that fucking like before the Thunderbolts or whatever, exploring this world post Endgame and whatnot correctly,
Mm-hmm.
it could make sense. But New World Order sounded fucking sick.
Yeah, I don't know why they changed the whole name. That's just my thing. Let me see real quick. Let me zoom into this this chair. I wonder if it actually does say. It does say Brave New World. That's crazy. Wow. Harrison Ford too. He looks like he's having fun. This doesn't look like work to me.
Come on.
Bringing it back. Yeah, I don't know. Brave New World just sounds very, very Disney. I don't know, man. Look, Marvel movies for me have not really been 100% my cup of tea. But I mean, changing the whole title to Brave. I was hearing at one point that a working title was also World War Hulks, and so that's why I'm kind of like I'm confused on what the changes are. I mean, we're getting Betty Ross to come back.
What's the correlation?
Yeah, we're getting Betty Ross to come back. She hasn't been on screen since The Incredible Hulk. We're getting the dude that was also in The Incredible Hulk, the science guy, the one that got the drip in his head.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting
The leading
She-Hulk to be in this movie. Bruce Banner might be in this movie. You know what I mean? Like we're getting so many people. Like I said, this is one of the movies that's super stuffed already.
Yeah, they're using this one to build up Thunderbolts and stuff. So I would imagine that there's a lot of Hulk stuff, which is dumb because what worked about the first and second Captain America was that it was about Captain America, him against the world type shit. It was kind of the same thing in Civil War, but you had a lot more stacked things and a lot more politics in there, so it kind of shut people out. But the story was still about Steve and Bucky. Like, why can't they just focus on them?
All I know is Captain America with zero powers. Ross is gonna be Red Hulk. We got Bruce Banner, She-Hulk. Serpent Society is probably gonna be a part of this movie, supposedly. All these threats, no super soldier serum within Bucky. This movie's being called Brave New World. I don't know. I'm hoping they're not doing my boy Anthony Mackie dirty and just kind of like rinsing their hands of the Captain America stuff and just trying to spearhead something different, because this doesn't sound like it's going to be a full on Captain America movie. I mean, and some people, I know I've seen some arguments where they were like, oh, well, Civil War wasn't really a Captain America movie. Look, man, yes, it was. It was an ensemble film, which was crazy to me for a third film in the Captain America franchise. But hey, it wound up working out. This one doesn't sound like that. At least there, we had decent CGI. At least we knew, we had two characters that were built up that we loved, going head to head, that built that tension for the movie. And in this one, it's just kind of like She-Hulk. Okay, she twerked with Megan Thee Stallion. Nobody cares. Harrison Ford. I think that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to in this movie is Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross. But everything else, I can tell you, like, this movie is not really like catching my eye 100%.
I don't know, dude. Because, like I said, Civil War works. Even if it is an ensemble film, it's still about Bucky and Steve at the end of the day. So if they can make this one like that and it just focus on Captain America and Bucky, then okay, sure. But I don't know, because the show did it correctly too. So I think as long as they keep them like playful and stuff, it'll work. But stuffing it like this takes away from that so much. It's that weird thing because right after, I don't know if you remember that whole thing, but right after Sam Wilson was made Captain America, they ditched the fuck out of him. We have not seen him in a minute since that show, and then they were like hyping up Captain Carter.
Yeah,
like if they were like, "Ooh, yeah, we made him Captain America, but no one really liked a black man as Captain America, so let's shoo him away and make Captain Carter." And she was everywhere. She was promoted heavily in What If, and then in Multiverse of Madness she was there. She was like in a good chunk before this movie was announced.
I was hearing a lot of that when I think when Doctor Strange 2 came out, because that's when they basically started putting Captain Carter a little bit more up front along with What If. That's why they put her more up front. But that's another thing too, is that I thought that they were gonna have somebody jumping around from movie to movie. Remember, I told you like Spider-Man could have been that person to you know make their jump around, you know, like Iron Man was and stuff like that, to basically connect the movies. But I thought it would have probably been, you know, Sam Wilson, Captain America, because he's in the perfect position. He was working for the government. You know, in the spot that he was left in at the end of Winter Soldier, he could be involved in so many things, and he could have been the one to be weaved out throughout the, you know, throughout these stories to basically tie them all together, and they totally missed it. And I'm hoping it's not because it's a black Captain America.
Well, I hope not either. Like, I hope they're not doing him dirty for the sake of that. It would fuck with me so hard, because I'm just like, why? Why would you? What would have been the point in making him Captain America in the first place? Because all of
But okay, let me ask you. But can we be real and let's be honest? Can we? Let me ask you. One, did they make the right decision by giving him the shield?
I think so.
I would have given it to Bucky.
I was in that boat before too, but I really like the show, and I've watched it a couple times, and I think by the end of it, Bucky's just tired. He's ready to give up. You know what I mean? Or not give up, but he's ready to like go to like bed. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? Like he's just done?
Yeah, like he's
But
tired.
he's coming out in the Thunderbolts.
He's probably gonna be forced to do that shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're trying to do. Like when you say get someone in to interweave, they're getting that one chick. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
The one that Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Was she there? Oh, I guess she did show up there. What was her name?
Who?
She showed him in Black Panther. Wakanda Forever 2. She was married to that white guy, or she's the ex of the white dude.
Oh,
she's like the negative
Valentina.
Valentina. She's the one right now, who's kind of like in everything and connecting them. I'm pretty sure for Thunderbolts, but she's the one right now.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the one to be weaving through, but okay, but like in Black Panther, what was she really there for besides to be there? You know what I mean? She didn't really. She wasn't really, you know what I mean? That nobody really was like, oh yeah, like Valentina's there. You know what I mean? Like they knew that she was supposed to be there, but she didn't really have a role to play.
She was there, and it was all about just trying to prove that. Fuck, I can't even remember.
Yeah, because she didn't have a plot.
No, she didn't have
Don't
a lot.
strain yourself.
She didn't have a lot, but it was like she was trying to do something to get their fucking vibranium, but I forget what it was. That's why she played what's his name. Her ex.
Yeah, to get information, but that could have been completely removed from the movie, and she could have easily gotten it in a different way if she's a top secret spy. Look, regardless, I just think they should have made Wilson that person. Spider-Man, Wilson could have been that person, but they just completely just went the other direction. Now, and the reason why I had asked you, like, okay, you know, if they, you know, who they gave it to, so you. That was going to lead to my follow-up question. So you think that they made the right decision with Wilson then?
Yeah.
And you think him being put up in this next movie with all these people, all these heavy hitters, that he's going to, you know... Do you have that confidence like you had that confidence when you saw, like, Chris Evans, like Steve Rogers, you know what I mean? Like, does it bring you that same joy? Because I remember when I saw Chris Evans... And when I seen him in the Captain America suit, and maybe it's just me thinking like, oh, Anthony Mackie's not built enough in order to, you know, to play that role, because I'm assuming, you know, Captain America is like this, you know, big dude kind of thing. Yeah, that's just kind of my thing when it comes to that one.
So you're saying he doesn't look like a superhero?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
That's crazy.
I don't think so. I think he made a perfect sidekick as the Falcon, but I think if they would have made him look more like a superhero, yeah. Like if Yahil Mateen II was Falcon and he was passed the mantle to be Captain America, I would 100% be like, yeah, that would be a Captain America right there.
That's funny. But no. I feel confident. After his fucking arc and stuff in the show, I can see it. I can see him standing up against them, because it's not about the serum. You know what I mean? I know that's your big thing about him looking like a superhero and stuff, but it's not about the serum. It's never about having the serum or not. That's the whole point of his character and Steve's.
The driver don't pick the car. The car picked the driver. That's what it sounds like. No. I think if you're going to be a superhero, you should look like a superhero. And he doesn't need the serum. He could be bulked up and juiced if he, worked out and all that stuff. He doesn't need the serum to look like a Hulk. He could, look like Alan Rickman. Look at that man.
Yeah, but we don't know if he hasn't been working out either.
Who?
The dude playing Captain America.
Anthony Mackie?
Yeah.
I don't know. We just seen a picture. He doesn't look like he's any buffer. You see him right here? That look ripped to you? No, he looks like a normal man. He looks like an everyday Joe, okay? I don't know.
What's his name is going to be the new Falcon?
Yeah, that dude that was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the Mexican guy.
Yeah.
We'll see how he does.
Yeah, we'll see how everybody does in this movie. Like I said, it's going to be overstuffed. It's going to be an interesting movie, in my opinion. It's going to be an interesting thing to see how Marvel deals with everything that's been happening and, these movies coming out. We're going to see if Marvel's going to pick up the pieces or let us down. But the question is for y'all, too. I mean, do you guys think Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie's character, should be Captain America, or did you guys think the Winter Soldier should have been? My opinion, I kind of felt the Winter Soldier should have been that guy, but it is what it is. But moving on, though, to another Marvel movie recently came out, and that's Thor Love and Thunder. Now, Chris Hemsworth went ahead and spoke about his time making that film and having to deal with all the backlash that happened with it, as everybody knows, not being so good. So he talked to GQ magazine and said that, I think we just had too much fun. I think it just became too silly. It's always hard being in the center of it and having any real perspective. I love the process. It's always a ride, but you just don't know how people are going to respond. He goes on and says that his son's friends were his biggest critics, saying that it's a bunch of 8-year-olds critiquing my film. We thought this one had too much humor. The action was cool, but the VFX weren't as good. I cringe and laugh equally at it. He says that he loves the experience of playing Thor. He loved the fact that he was able to do something fairly different throughout the process. Thor 1 and 2 were their own thing. Thor 3 and 4 were a different feel. Even Avengers, Thor 1, Infinity War were all different due to different directors wanting something different. Even goes as far as to say why he understood why they made Ant-Man this big space epic for its third film, but he says that he has not gotten around to it. Before we move on to the next little portion, do you have anything to respond to that?
Where was... I can't even, like... I can't... Man, I don't even know how to word it, because I feel very, like, angry about this, because there should have been this energy before you decided to do all that shit. Like, I know he just reads the paper, and I know he just reads his lines, but there should have been backlash if he wanted to change it up and do more or something. Like, I know hindsight tells him that now, but in the moment, you should have been like, I don't know if this is the move, Taika. You know what I mean?
See, and that's my thing, is that I don't know if it's 100% just Taika's and his fault. Like, I think it's Marvel's fault, because even Taika Waititi came out saying that he had a 4-hour movie sitting locked away. And what if he picked out the better parts and Marvel made him reshoot it to fit, the humor and all that stuff that they're trying to do? He said that, at one point Gore the God Butcher was actually, menacing at one point, but there was a lot of stuff that had to be cut. I'm not defending Taika, because I honestly don't. I'm not saying he's a bad director. It's just I really hate what he did with Thor: Love and Thunder, and I really hate how he approaches some movies and stuff like that, when he's just like, oh, I'll just do whatever the fuck I want, and I really don't care. I think there was an interview where he was like sitting there and he was like, oh yeah, I'm the worst actor ever. He was like, I had to play a Nazi one time, or Hitler or whatever, and I didn't even study. I just read the lines and did whatever I wanted to do, because I don't give a fuck. And I was just like, oh shit. I was like, okay, Taika, like that kind of energy doesn't really like sit well with me. So I'm just like, dude, I like that's just something that me personally. So I'm not defending him. I don't think that he takes his job seriously all the time, and I think that reflects in his work sometimes. I can't say that there was, I can't completely just say that it was his fault, because we saw what happened with Multiverse of Madness. We saw what happened with Falcon and Winter Soldier. We saw what happened with what are the ones? Black Panther. You know what I mean? Like we see the pattern that happened with these movies, and it Quantumanium. You know what I mean? Like we can't just blame 100% on them. I don't think.
I don't know, man.
If you think that we can, you tell me why you think so.
I think we can. Yeah.
Yeah, you just
If
want
I
to
could I don't. Yeah, but no, dude. It's because even him and I guess it's all the actors coming out now and saying this sort of thing. Because even now, Elizabeth Olsen is like, I don't think I want to come back as Scarlet Witch until they do something right with her. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's fair. Like you should have had that energy going into this fucking thing.
I think at the time they were writing so hot off of, the success of Infinity War, of Endgame, and all that stuff. I think they were like, oh yeah, people want to see this, and people want to, see us, and blah, 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 which we do. But we want to see them in good stories. And even Chris Hemsworth even said too, because like I said, he did say that he understood why Ant-Man is now this big, huge space epic franchise. He also says that's the trick. You have to separate all those stories. The moment it's like your world is in danger, the entire universe is like, yeah, so it was like that the past 24 films. It has become a bit more personal. It has to become a bit more personal and grounded. And that makes sense. You're right. And he says the exact same thing. It needs to be more grounded. These stories actually need to have a story. And that's the thing that I feel like all these movies have been struggling on, is that they don't know. They're so busy trying to set up this big old world that they're missing the mark that, when Iron Man 1 came out, it was a self-sufficient story. You know what I mean? When Iron Man 2 came out, though, you might think some people are on the fence about that. It was a self-sufficient story that connected with other stories. Same thing with Thor. I really enjoyed Thor 1. You know what I mean? That one was a really good story. That the first Avengers, really good story. And then added all the superheroes, so they have a track record that they could do it. It's just, I think that they just were like, oh yeah, people are just going to buy, and we just got to pump out all these shit because, people are going to want to watch it and keep up and whatever. And I think that they thought we were just going to consume. And when people were consuming to the point where now they're throwing it up, and Disney's just like, well, you guys don't want to eat this? And it's like, bro, we've had enough. Give us something passable. We're tired of McDonald's. We actually want a home-cooked meal once again. You know what I mean?
These conveyor belt ass movies, man, I swear. It's a waste of talent, and it's a waste of directors, in my opinion. I know you still get a hint of these directors in these movies, but they are so fucking silenced for this bigger scheme that I am not invested in anymore, because Kang might be out. I know that's like me like rationalizing it, but I'm not interested anymore. The last movie we saw was Ant-Man. We didn't even bother going to Guardians. Whether that's a James Gunn thing or an MCU thing, that is either way. You know what I mean? And now the Marvels
I think it's
coming.
a little of both.
Well, now
I think that one's just a three-headed snake, because it's a Marvel thing, it's a James Gunn thing, and to be honest, it's a Guardians thing. Nobody really, you know what I mean?
I don't really care for Guardians, but I understand what you were saying finally, that I just don't care. I probably won't care until I see Blade, F4, and maybe Captain America with all these set photos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They really need to do something to really ignite the fandom to come back, and I think they really need to, like, instead of doing this big old spectacle movie or whatever, you know what I mean? Let's have
They gotta get back to like what made Iron Man in the first phase so great.
But that's the thing, is that this world expanded so much that, and that's another thing too. This world expanded so much to the point where it's impossible to not have at least another Avenger within your movie. You know what I mean? Or at least another character within your movie, because like how everybody said when Eternals came out, how the fuck is this giant fucking person coming out and nobody responds to it?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody says, hey, whoa, giant fucking thing coming out of the sky here. Where's Spider-Man? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like
What the fuck is he gonna do?
I don't know. Somebody got to do some shit. Like Spider-Man just turned a blind eye. He's like, I'm in New York. You know what I mean?
This
like,
isn't my fight.
Tony would never stand for this shit. All right, he would have put a suit of armor around the world before this ever happened. Anyways, but I just think that it's just ridiculous that they're at this major scale that it's hard to to maneuver this universe. You can't do anything and have this well-grounded story because we've already had world-threatening threats forever now. Now it's just another Tuesday. Like, oh, we just got to beat up these people. Boom, boom, boom. Big final third act and then, go home.
If that was even if that is the case, you know what I mean? Like, you could pair these people up just like in the comics and make it work. Kind of like what they did with Bucky and Winter Soldier. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or Bucky and Winter Soldier, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and then like if you have to pair them up to expand this universe, just to give them a spot and be like, this is where they're at, then do that, but make it make sense. Don't stuff them into a movie that they don't belong to. People have been campaigning for a Spider-Man and Daredevil movie or a show for the longest, and we're probably gonna get that in Daredevil Reborn, but that's a whiles away, and we still don't know when the fuck that's happening.
It's a whiles away, boss. But yeah, man, it's gonna be, I don't know. Marvel's just not. It's not the bee's knees right now.
But back to what I'm saying though, the actors should have called this way before they got their hands dirty, and now they're like they probably don't even want to come back because their characters have been tainted.
It's not, and that's another thing too, is that Feige doing that whole thing where he's like, we're not gonna make people sign these big ass contracts anymore. We're only gonna allow them back if they want to come back. And to me, I'm like, no, they should sign contracts, because if 1 minute their movie flops or whatever they feel, you know what I mean, then they're not gonna want to come back. And who knows if later on the movie gets better or whatever, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. People tend to regret it once once the ship starts taking off. But I don't know, man. I just think they need to really they should have really thought of things over. In my opinion, they should have just ended with Endgame and basically did a Flashpoint type thing and just restarted anew again. And that at this point, everything is just so huge. Like, how do you follow up Thanos? You can do Kang the Conqueror, but I mean, unless he was hidden in plain sight, throughout this whole time, why is he barely popping up now? You know what I mean? Like, this is not just some random person who's just gonna come out of the blue. You know what I mean? And then after him, what's next? Galactus? Like, when are we gonna be like, hey, you know what? Superheroes gots to go because they're just attracting all this bad juju. You know what I mean? Like, they should have just restarted anew, 100%.
That's the thing with Marvel Comics, though. They don't just start anew. In the comics, they don't really have that sort of thing. You know what I mean? They kind of just... New runs happen, but they build upon what the old person did. It isn't like DC where it's like, oh, we gotta kind of revamp everybody. Let's have the Flash fuck things up again.
Damn it, Barry.
And then, they go on from there. Because even then, the last event didn't really set things off either. We had the Golden Age, Bronze Age, Silver Age, and then they were like, how do we get new audiences? How do we bring in new readers, comics wise? And they were like, well, let's do New 52. So what did Barry do? He created Flashpoint, and then New 52 was born. It cut out people that we knew, brought in new people. People didn't like half of that shit. I fall on either side. I kind of enjoyed both. And then that's when they were like, this isn't working. Let's have Rebirth happen. And then it was a big event with like the Watchmen and stuff. Marvel doesn't do that in the comics either. So in the movies, it makes sense for them to just build upon, but movies, it's obviously becoming a mission.
You can't do the same thing that you do in the comics like you do in a movie. You know what I mean? There's always these gears turning, and eventually it just gets too convoluted to the point where, people aren't interested anymore. But, I mean, as long as they're getting the hint at this point, you know what I mean? I know you said, like, they should have caught this before, but like I said, they were writing good off of Endgame and Infinity War and all those other movies that they did really good in. So, regardless, it's good that they're seeing it now that they know that, the couple products that they put out have been shit. I mean, I don't know why Elizabeth Olsen would be like, oh, I don't know whether I'm not coming back. Everybody literally calls her mother. So, I mean, she might as well just come back.
Well, it's also a thing for her, too. She wants something more interesting now that, or better than what she was getting with Multiverse of Madness and WandaVision. I think I saw in an interview, because she was on the red carpet not too long ago for her show, one where she plays that serial killer or whatever.
Yeah.
Where she was just like, yeah, I don't know if I want to come back because of I want something more interesting for Wanda. And I'm like, that is completely fair. That is fair. As much as I like WandaVision and stuff, I can understand that she'd want better material.
I was going to say, I feel like her shit was kind of complex. I think if anybody had the most complex storytelling so far, it has been hers. She literally was a bad guy turned good, back to bad guy.
Yes. But
and all because of love.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, like, what they did with the Scarlet Witch, I can agree was abysmal. They made it seem like she was being, like, possessed, when that's not the case at all. You know what I mean? Am I making sense?
In Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
You're making sense. It's just, doesn't the Darkhold brainwash you? Isn't that what they basically said in the movie?
Well, yeah, but, like, it isn't so much of... I can understand brainwashing, but that's not what was happening here. It was more like, oh, it was Wanda doing all this crazy shit, breaking into the wizard place and stuff. And then when it was time to let the witch out, it was a whole different entity or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was two different things.
No, I don't get you. I don't think so. Because they said, like, oh, it was corrupting her, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It was just her not being able to make her own choices, supposedly. I guess is a good way to give her a cop-out. But she basically was the bad guy of the movie. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is that a cop-out?
Maybe.
I feel like it's kind of a cop-out.
Maybe. But in Chris Hemsworth's case, he did it to himself.
I'll tell you this right now. Elizabeth Olsen is nothing compared to him. Like, he literally went from being this serious, like, Thor character to getting goofier with every single, iteration, and to the point where he got to the goofiest, and now all of a sudden he's like, oh, why are these 8-year-olds making fun of my movie? My guy, you didn't see where it was going with Ragnarok? You didn't see what the fuck they did to you when they made you fucking fat?
That's what I'm saying, dude. He shines better in Thor movies, and Avengers movies, because at least when he's part of an ensemble, he gets an interesting story. Like, making him the one...
When other people write him.
Well, yeah, that's why. I know I give him shit, but Joss Whedon did him correctly, and then the Russo brothers did him justice.
I think he was done fine, too, in Ragnarok. I mean, yeah, I know you probably...
I don't know about that one.
I know you probably say no, but I'm telling you, he did a good job. But we'll agree to disagree, and we'll leave this one here because this one's actually turning into a steep topic. But if you guys want to hear more, let us know. We'll be glad to debate this even more. Moving on though, so we did talk about this a few episodes ago. If you guys haven't heard it, go check them out. We do talk about a lot of stuff that is rumored, but now it seems like the trades have finally picked it up, and it sounds like Andy Muschietti might be that guy to direct the new Batman, The Brave and the Bold, for James Gunn's new DCU. Andy Muschietti is the horror icon that Walter Hamada had brought to basically film the Flash movie, and we're hearing reviews are going good. We'll talk about the reviews right now, but we're hearing good reviews right now and all that stuff from the Flash. We're hearing a bunch of positives, so you should be happy about that. We're hearing a lot of positives. So I mean, is it jumping the gun to say, hey, this is the guy to direct the new Batman movie? Or I don't know, man. What do you think? Now that it's actually kind of getting definitive.
I still have to see what the Flash is like to say if I like this or not. But I don't know. I very mixed feelings, because at the same time I feel like we lost, because the writer might be the same one who is doing Batgirl.
Yeah, that was the bug. It's not happening.
No? Okay.
She also wrote the Flash movie.
Oh, fuck. No, but no, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I can't tell if this is a win or a W. It's all gonna depend on how I see he does the Flash.
So this isn't a win for you. You know.
Not at the moment, no.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and check out the Flash reviews because, like I said, he did direct the Flash. With the embargo lifting, a lot of people giving out the reviews. We're getting an actual scope of what the Flash is going to be bringing. So right now it's sitting at a 72% at the time of recording this, a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes, with 71 reviews in the chamber. And I thought we read a few of these reviews, good, bad, whatever. I'm going to start from the top and we'll just make my way down. So the first one's a bad one, and it basically says a morally specious movie that's mostly about reflogging the cultural canon of an entertainment conglomerate. Very fancy words for saying they put a movie together to basically canonize what basically has been happening with Warner Brothers. So another one says it's a pitiful disservice to itself, turning a relatively fun, if rocky movie into nothing but another product designed as a carousel where you can point at things and people you recognize. This one's a positive one, saying, taking on its own merits, Andy Muschietti's film has lots to offer and frequently shows flashes of brilliance that's set it a cut above most of its existing DC Universe brethren. Another bad one says it's a well-trod territory at this point, even for a speedster. Another bad one says maybe nerd culture was a mistake. Wow. Another one says, and this one's a good one, it says it's sometimes buried under layers and layers of storytelling knots that the film never fully untangles, but the fun is there, and when the film is really working, that turns out to be enough. Let's do one more bad and one more good, okay? Let's do this bad one. It says Ezra Miller is definitely an acquired taste as the lead character. Perhaps most troubling of all is how much more interesting both the older Batman characters, Michael Keaton, and the new Supergirl character, Sasha Calle, are in support. And one more good one, just, to wash the bad taste out of our mouth. It says The Flash is fun and an adventurous film that brings a lot of nostalgia and DC goodness into the fold. Michael Keaton as Batman is definitely the highlight of the film. So on and so forth, etc., etc. So you've been here, you heard these reviews, Josh. What is coming to your mind with these reviews? And I know we don't listen to reviews around here, okay? We'll give you guys our review, but we always preach and we'll forever preach. Go out, watch it for yourself.
Formulate your own opinion.
You can listen to us, you can have the conversation with us, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you guys are thinking for yourselves.
Exactly. I'll say it that's a perfect way to sum it up. I'm not even going to say fuck Rotten Tomatoes. You said it correctly. But I don't know how to feel about these reviews. Not even just from my own view of fuck them, but more of just I don't know, because I'm still very torn. I know it's not gonna be all this good shit, but I know it's not gonna be all this bad shit either. And I feel like all of them were kind of just tipping the scales. Yeah, from what I'm reading, from what I read, what I'm picking up is that a lot of people saying that it's fun. You get a lot of faces. A lot of people are saying that the story's kind of weak, and regardless, I think all the positive stuff is coming from the cameos and the fun that you're going to probably have. This might be just a popcorn flick that a lot of people are going to sit down and just be like, hey, this is really fun, and I could turn my brain off, and watch this film and feel good about myself at the time I leave. You know what I mean? So if this is, it could be those movies, or it could be a movie that, is actually emotional and hard-hitting and actually good with story, but it sounds like from this it's the latter. So I think I want the story to be good. If all the other stuff we were hearing before, that Ezra Miller delivers a really good portrayal and all that, that's something I want for sure, because we know Ezra can act. We've seen him in a bunch of things. We know he can act.
If you guys haven't seen him in Perks of Being a Wallflower and a lot of the stuff that he came up doing, a lot of a lot of indie movies, he shines there. So
yeah, so we know he got acting chops, but I think I don't know if it's a bias thing where people are just oh, Ezra is this and that, but who knows for sure. All these reviews just kind of give me 50-50 mixed signals still, and I know the only opinion that's gonna matter is my own when I go see it. So
yeah, we're gonna have to wait for that day. It's coming up though, June 16th. It is coming up. You know what? It just at this point, I don't know if it's you. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just feel like everybody's seen the movie already. I feel like everybody but us seen the movie.
Yeah, because they did a lot of like releases, and then we're just waiting for the day it comes out.
Fan events, all that stuff. Now we're hearing, you know, all the critics are watching it now, and they're actually watching the final version with like the post credit scenes and all that stuff. So I don't know, man. It just feels like everybody. I feel like there's a club and we're not in the club yet.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like we're on the outside still looking in, trying to figure out, hey, is it even good to be in there? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I kind of just want to fucking get in that club already. I just want to see what the hype is about. And, you know, everybody's telling you, believe the hype. Tom Cruise is saying this is the movie that we need. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I don't know, man. A lot of this stuff is just 50-50.
But hearing from these, at least critics, a lot of people are saying that Sasha Calle and Michael Keaton's Batman is one of the highlights.
Which is amazing.
And Andy Muschietti is going to be directing a Batman the Brave and the Bold. Will this movie be the movie that we can look at to be like, hey, this is how he's going to handle Batman. This is what we're probably going to see in a Batman movie. Like, is it fair to do that, or you think we should?
It's fair. Give him the merits and stuff, but again, if we know this movie's getting this kind of reviews, and then we know he only come from horror, what can we really expect from him doing a whole Bat family movie?
That's
Same
true.
thing. That's kind of my thing. That's kind of how we look at James Gunn too. Like, he's done all these people who are basically no names, built them up. How is he gonna do with a Superman? You know what I mean? That's the thing.
That's true.
Like, we can base it off their work, but at the same time, we don't know what they're capable of in that domain.
I guess you have a point. I mean, if this movie turns out to be the movie, then I will give him that benefit of the doubt that he could probably do the Batman movie, because I mean, he is coming from horror to do the Flash movie. You know, I think a lot of Walter really set that precedent. Like, hey, a lot of my horror buddies are gonna come through and make these movies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he came from horror. He's doing his first DC film. So however he takes this and does it, this will probably just be that. You know, that little imaginary, you know, it's going to be basically our, how do you say it? Like our reference on what's to come. You know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see with that one. But hey, The Flash at a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, you guys excited for that one? I mean, I know Josh is. Moving on though, we did hear too a couple days ago that, oh my God, my girl Becky G, she's going to be in Blue Beetle. And she's not even going to be seen. That's the sad part. She's not even going to be seen. That she's going to be playing the Scarif, Kajida. She will be playing the voice, and we got a little snippet right here, little bit of trailer. I know we have gotten that picture from Empire yesterday that comes from this little snippet, but a lot of people have been talking about the robot that appears in this clip. But I'll play it for you. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it?
The red one? That red robot?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
But did you see the clip, though?
No.
No? Okay.
I saw the picture.
I'll show it to you so you could just have more reference.
It's your girl, Becky G, and I am so excited to finally be able to share with you guys that I am officially a part of the Blue Beetle Familia. I have the honor of playing the voice of Kajida, who is an alien symbiote who decides who she wants to give superpowers to. And when I say I could not be any more proud of what you guys are going to experience when watching this film, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So, with that said, I would love for you guys to get to know a little bit more about Kajida. Check this out.
Host acquired.
Listen to me! You got the wrong guy! I'm a nobody!
This is going to be fun.
What is going on?
The scarab chose you, Hyman. Is trying to become one with you.
Watch and learn.
How'd you do that? It wasn't me. It was just a suit.
Do you understand now?
Oh, yeah!
So that was a little clip. You know, we're getting the typical Twitter buzz. You know, Blue Beetle looks like a PS3 game. The red robot, the villain, it looks like, you know, fake CGI. You know, we've seen with the Flash trailers that the CGI hasn't really been that great either. So Blue Beetle coming down the pipeline, people seeing this clip, like, don't get me wrong, seeing my girl Becky G in this little clip, it did wonders for me. And hearing that she's gonna be at this, it sucks. Like I said, that we're not gonna be able to see her, but you know, I guess CGI wise, nothing really has. I mean, we seen that scene where he does that sword thing, kicks it up and everything. It doesn't look like anything's changed from the last time that we seen it. So I don't know. What do you think about the CGI so far?
I don't know why we're going so backward. It looks whack. That's the best way I can put it. That's the nicest way I can put it. It looks bad. It's like we're just reverting. I don't know what it is. Why? They can't give us good shit. They can't just be like, hey, we'll go minimal this time. Everything has to be green screen. We gotta do background. Gotta do cars and people and this and that. Things that don't need CGI are getting CGI'd. And then you get things like that where they look like cutscenes and shit. The biggest offender that should have told us, hey, we got a problem, was the first Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
That ending fight scene with Killmonger. Like, it was, I can admit it was dope, but that shit looked ass, and I wish I could skip to the end of that, just every time.
Here's my thing, is that with Blue Beetle, they actually shot with a practical suit, though. They had Homeboy, like, in an actual practical suit. There was, like, behind-the-scenes photos and everything, so why does this still look so bad?
They've always, I don't know what it is, because even now, they've been doing that, too. Like, oh man, let's build this dope ass suit, because they did it with Tom Holland too in his Spider-Man movies. They built this phenomenal looking suit, and then they CGI it for simple shit like wrinkles and stuff. I'm sure your suit will wrinkle regardless. You know what I mean?
I get that. Like, I get why they are doing that, and that's, obviously for a better fitting suit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then, plus they use the suit for reference, too. So, like, they have them wear and they let them, reference for lighting and everything, and that's what is basically put into the CGI suit when it comes around. It's just, ain't no point in shooting in a real-life suit, because one thing is that, they probably shot Tom Holland in a real suit, maybe in a couple scenes, and in this one they shot him in basically every single scene with a real suit. So, like, why are we still CGIing, and why does it still look pretty fucking bad? You know what I mean?
At that point, you just put him in a motion capture suit and then just add the suit in post.
It probably would have came out looking a little bit better. The one that still amazes me is Black Bolt in Multiverse of Madness, that his was all fucking CGI, but that should look good, that should look real. It's crazy.
All the budget wasted on one man. No, but yeah, no, we've been reverting to this little thing where the CGI just looks ass, and I know we could do better with phenomenal things, and maybe it's a budget issue. But if that's the case, maybe it's time to look back at your story and be like, do we need this big CGI battle? No.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that this movie was supposed to come out on what was HBO Max. Now it's Max, but it was supposed to be just a Max original, but turned out that Zaslav was like, no, we got something good on our hands.
So good, we gotta put us in the theater. Then if that was the case,
and then he looked over at Batgirl and was like, but that one got to go.
No, not you, Shivers. But if that was the case, he should have shelled out more money. They're like, hey man, you gonna put it in theaters? Do you think we can get a little bit more cash to finish this stuff up? No, we're just gonna ship it out like that.
I think they did though. I think he did. He gave him more money, but it wasn't like it wasn't a crazy amount.
They're like, dog, we're in debt, right?
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to sell music over here.
I'm just saying. Zack Snyder was able to make Steppenwolf with a $70 million budget.
Exactly. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, excited that she's in this movie. Not so excited for the CGI. Like I said, CGI is a big thing for me. So if the CGI is not living up, then it really it puts a damper in my day when I'm watching these movies. But speaking of Zack Snyder, we did get a very, 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 very good topic today, and that is Rebel Moon. So we wound up getting pictures. Not only did we get pictures, but we got an exclusive interview with Zack Snyder coming from Vanity Fair. He talks about the movie, goes in depth. If you guys want to see it, I say go check it out. It's a big, big article that I could probably break down everything, but I just want to honestly break down the most important thing. Look at that. Wow. The whole crew.
Damn.
So,
looks fucking cool.
We're hearing that Zack Snyder, got a $166 million budget. Was basically like, hey, we need to make this sci-fi epic. Netflix's boss was like, hey, we need you to make it a 2-hour movie. And he basically had a 176-page script, which Deborah Snyder says in this article that every page is like about a minute of screen time. So
damn,
176 pages. It was clocking in over 3 hours.
Yeah.
And so so he basically said, "Hey, I'm not gonna be able to do it in 2 hours." The boss basically said, "Well, what are you gonna need?" And he said, "Well, if I make it in 2 hours, he's gonna sacrifice all the character." And so the boss was like, "Okay, then we'll do it into 2 parts." So Rebel Moon will be in a 2-parter. We're gonna get 4 versions of these 2 parts, and what I mean by 4 versions, we're gonna get 2 versions of part 1 and 2 versions of part 2. Part 1 is gonna have a PG-13 one, and then a hard R rating for the adult version only. That Zack Snyder says in this article, actually, he says, for those who are looking for an edgier time and for those who are a real fan and expect this out of him, that he's giving the fans this. So he knows what we want, and we want Zack Snyder to the fullest. Now, a PG-13 Zack Snyder is still a Zack Snyder in my book, but we want that R-rated, blood, spine, shit like that. And imagine that in a Star Wars sci-fi setting. Now, he does say this is a space opera, and it does take a lot of details, so that's why it's also being put into 4 parts. There's Zack and Deborah Snyder right there. They look so happy. It's great. And even in this article, they do a nasty jab, and they do say, hey, like, he's finally being able to get his world building skills on, because, after his quote unquote disastrous time at DC, having a world to build and then getting it completely scrapped. Now, Netflix is putting full faith in Zack Snyder and producing this epic. I mean, Josh, there's a lot of information. I know you're a Zack Snyder fan. I know you're probably excited about Rebel Moon. What are your thoughts on all this?
That's so good, so exciting. I've been seeing this float around. Not so much the pictures, but the what he said, and that it isn't just gonna be rated R and stuff, but one of them is gonna be like for the quote unquote adults that can understand it, you know what I mean? Kind of like how BVS was, that kind of split the fandom, where if you got it, you didn't, or you got it, and if you didn't, you didn't, you know what I mean? Oh, I can't wait. That's so cool. And I'm so glad Netflix is just being so cool about it,
Yeah.
They could have totally been like, nah, bro, ain't no one care about that third half. I just cut up with the 2. Because they could have totally done that. They could have been industry shills and been the same way, but they're like, nah, bro, we're going to let you cook to the fullest. And my boy is cooking. Oh, my God. I am so excited for this.
Trying to find it. And that was, what do you call it? That was something I wanted to tell you about, because I'm trying to find the quote here. Oh, right here. So this is the one that I wanted to bring to you. So, and you brought it up yourself, this is where, the BVS stuff, where it's going to be harder. So this is what he basically had to say. And I wanted to, kind of wanted to bring it up, because it's kind of one of those things where it's like, that we brought up in another episode. If you guys want to go check it out, I forgot what it is, but it's been out for a couple weeks now. But he basically was saying that, BVS was too mythological and too, you couldn't understand it. You had to, you had to be in the right mind space in order to get it. So this is what he basically had to said. He said, "I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know why I always make ensemble movies. I cannot wait to not do that. But in the meantime, of course, I love it. Constructing worlds in real life is very fun to feel. He likes to make people feel more immersed. This movie was me going, of course, it's a space opera, but let's not lens it that way. Let's lens it in a more intimate way so that the sci-fi elements feel more grounded. We're not always saying, look at how big our spaceships are and how weird our planets look. That happens, but it happens as an organic part of the world you're in. You're there, and so the things you see on this journey are not forced upon you or spoon-fed to you."
As things should be. Thank you for not spoon-feeding me. I can absorb information myself. I can totally be like, fuck this. You know what I mean? He gets it. Visionary. This guy, he gets it.
He does get it. So we got, like I said, we got a bunch of character posters. We got Sophia Boutella right here as Cora. like I said, her whole description is in this article. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, it is on there on Vanity Fair. So we also got Charlize Hunnam as Kai. He looks like a badass. If you agree, he looks like a badass.
He does indeed.
Mikhail Huzman is gonna play Gunnar. There he is, very bearded. No Wonder Woman on his head. Very good. Then we got, who's this man? Stas Nar. That's a different name. He was in Supergirl and in Game of Thrones. I don't know. Never
That's
seen
weird.
that one. Duna Bay. She will be playing Nemesis.
Damn, she looks sick.
Yeah, she looks pretty badass. Robot arms? See her robot arms?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. And then we got Ray Fisher as Blood Axe, and alongside Cleopatra Coleman. So there's Blood Axe. That's Ray Fisher. I don't know who that is. I don't know if anybody said his name yet. E. Duffy is non-binary. The director uses the pronouns. Oh, okay. A non-binary actor. Is there a non-binary middle ground for that?
Actress or actor?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of. No.
Yeah. So, very, very good pictures. Very nice. All this information is just great. Like I said, if you guys want to,
he looks sick.
If you guys want a closer look at Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, there's a lot of pictures. Like I said on this Vanity Fair article, there's a lot of pictures. Look at Zack, just happy. He must love it there on Netflix.
He's fucking thriving.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
Finally.
Nothing but excitement, right?
Exactly.
I'm excited for Rebel Moon.
Yeah, excited for Rebel Moon. Happy for Zack to finally be getting his way. Fuck you, Warner Brothers, for doing this man dirty.
Yeah, sucks we don't get the rest of his vision, but if we get something 10 times better in return, sucks that it's on Netflix because, Netflix is Netflix sometimes, but, if they trust him this much that they said, hey, make a 2-part movie and spin-offs, not for one franchise, but 2 franchises, it tells you a lot.
He is fucking cooking, this guy. Good shit.
Very good.
Yeah.
With that, it's gonna lead us off to our last 2 topics, and that is gonna be 2 horror movie trailers. Now, we already talked about this. The Falapo brothers have a new movie called Talk to Me. They wound up putting out a new trailer.
Okay.
The first one kind of gave us a little tidbit, a little taste of what it might be. I thought we can go ahead and dive a little bit deeper with this second trailer. Hopefully, we see a little bit more stuff, and maybe we get a little bit more scares.
Yeah.
Right after that, we will have another trailer, another horror movie, and that's going to be Insidious: The Red Door. We've got another final trailer for that movie, and for that one, I'm still kind of on the fence for, so I'm hoping this last trailer kind of teeters me to that, let's go watch it. But first things first, let's go with the Talk to Me trailer, and we're just going to jump right into this.
You busy tonight?
You want to turn, eh?
My mum leaves at 9. So
See you at 10.
where'd you get it from anyway?
Apparently it was the hand of someone that could connect with the dead.
I heard it was the hand of a Satanist. The other hand's just out there.
White people shit, man, I tell you.
All right, let's do this! You know the drill. Say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
Haley, fucking stop it, he's choking!
83 seconds, get it off him!
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it?
Delete it. Delete it, come on!
The spirits, they followed us. We have to do something! You want to do it again? They're not gonna stop.
What was it?
What? I don't know!
I let you in. I let you in. Oh my god.
That actually looks really creepy.
Yeah, they're cool.
That shit looks creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, mad creepy. Like, honestly, the camera work in some of these scenes that they showed in this trailer looks awesome. I like that, like, when his head snapped back, like, the camera tilted with him. And then, like, when it was dragging him back and forth, like, the camera went, like, with him as well. I kind of like that. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Really good. That was very good stuff. Very nice.
Yeah, I would have never thought. I'm telling you, I would have never thought. Like, I was just watching their videos the other day, too, and I was just like, how the fuck did these guys make this movie? Like, I don't know. It's a trip. It's a trip.
Yeah, for real. Crazy stuff.
Moving on, though, we got Insidious, The Red Door. This is the final trailer. Let's jump right in.
Yeah.
Another horror. Conclusion? Like, this is the last one?
It's not the house that's haunted. It's your son.
There was something in there with him.
Is there something wrong with Daddy?
These things are bad for me.
He's got your baby. Dalton! He's got your baby.
Our family has been through a lot together.
You told me that when I was 10. I was in a coma, but I don't remember being sick.
We're ready to forget.
Ever since then, I see crazy stuff in my dreams.
Those are not dreams. It's happening again. Something is following us.
I'm gonna need you to remain still.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, hell no. Oh, you got me fucked up.
The further you travel, the riskier the journey becomes.
That's sick. I've always wondered what happened to that Darth Maul, Azazel looking motherfucker.
Fuck. That
looks really good.
That
trailer
one
looks really better than the first one.
That one kind of made me a little bit. When that they showed a couple of the scares and everything like that. No, that one in that one scene. No, fuck that shit. No. I'd say no. To be honest, I wasn't excited for the last couple ones, but to see this one, I would. Maybe it's because it's the original family or whatever, but like I'm excited to see. And if they say it's a conclusion, so I'm assuming that this is gonna be like a resolution movie. So I'm hoping that this movie kind of like just stops everything, you know?
Maybe
like gives us a satisfying ending.
Yeah, I could see that happening. But the last couple ones also ended on a cliffhanger, so we'll see.
But those were technically prequels, so I mean,
technically. Yeah.
So I mean, with this one, I mean, if this one's the one that's like the tail end that kind of ends it all, because you know she wound up dying because of this family and all that stuff. Like, if it is the one that ends it all, then fine. Because to be honest, without this family, I kind of lost interest with the other two.
Oh, yeah, because that Red Devil, that Darth Maul looking motherfucker, also haunted what's her name in the prequel.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been around.
Yeah.
If
they kind of were laying the groundwork. I think in the. Not the first one, after the second one, not the fourth, but the fifth one. I think that's the one where they were like, putting the little seeds, like, hey, like he's been around. The bride, that girl that follows him in the first one, that she's been around and shit like that. That's supposed to lead to the first one. So yeah, those are prequels. But I don't know. This last one seems pretty good. I mean, if it is the last one,
yeah,
the Red Door.
I hope this isn't a fast thing where they're just like, it's the last one. But we're going to leave it on a cliffhanger in case y'all want more.
Orm's like, one last ride. And he's like, not really. Looks exciting. I mean, let me ask you then. I mean, they're not coming out around the same time. Oh, well, one's July 28th, one's July 7th. But if you had to pick one, which one you going to watch?
Insidious.
Insidious?
Just because I've been a fan of that franchise for a long time. But it's ever since the first one. Like, the first one still scares me shitless. So, like, Insidious for sure.
That sounded super easy for you. It's not for me. I'm a horror
The other one looked good. I'm not saying that.
No, I know. I'm not saying that.
This one just has...
We're not saying one looks bad or the other one. It's just which one we would, go out of our way for. And the reason why it's hard for me is because, one, I'm a horror fan. I fucking love horror. Both of them got me. Both got me creeped out with a couple scenes that, they showed in the trailer. And on top of... I think the one, like... I don't know which one to give more points to because... Talk to Me had like this creepy music to kind of help it, and Insidious didn't really have that creepy music. It was just more all like visuals kind of thing. So yeah, no, I'm kind of torn. If I have to pick, there's a gun to my fucking head and I gotta pick it right now. If I have to pick, I would say Talk to Me, only because the camera work looked crazy, and I feel like they're gonna deliver. It being their first project, I feel like their first like mainstream project, I guess you could say. Yeah, is like I think that they're really gonna put their all into it. And they're gonna put a lot of scares. They're gonna put a lot of effort into this one. So I kind of feel like that one might have the edge. I could be 100% wrong, and they could shit the bed, and it could be a bad movie. But I'm hoping that it's good. And then with Insidious, well, to be honest, because the last two didn't really wow me, I guess that's why I'm not really as anticipated. I am happy that they're bringing the original family back, but like I said, it is not to say that one looks worse than the other. It's just which one would I rather go, and I guess Talk to Me has to be the one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Very good stuff.
My mind is very, like, all over the place.
That's fair.
It was a lot of scary shit.
Yeah, no. It was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, that shit was nice. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen the trailers, that's Talk to Me. It's on YouTube, and so is Insidious: The Red Door. I guess it's the final trailer, so go out and watch it before it comes out in theaters, which is weird that it's the final trailer. It comes out July 7th, and it's barely June 6th. It's like a whole month away. You would think the final trailer would come out like 2 weeks prior or something like that. I don't know. That's just me. But with that being said, that's going to end our episode for today. If there's any topics that we should have been talking about, but we didn't talk about, anything that we should have been saying, but we didn't, a movie that you guys want us to review, if you guys want to, support us in a big way, Josh, let them know where they can let us know.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Filmbros Podcast. You can hit us up there for any news or movies you want us to cover. If you want to listen to us on the go, Spotify and Apple Podcast at Filmbros Podcast, and a couple more places. So go check us out on those sites. Support us in a big way, Buzzsprout. Links are in our bios, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, again, at Filmbros Podcast. Check out those links. If you subscribe, you get shout-outs and special perks, so go ahead and do that. When it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at Filmbros Podcast.
Yeah, and with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.